YouTube, Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football. Go ahead and share this video to as many media outlets as you possibly can. We're in mid-July. So guess what that means? SEC media days are coming up, and now we are literally in the home stretch as we lead into the college football season. That features a lot of good games that first week. Very compelling matchup between number 3, Georgia, and number 4. No, actually number 3, Clemson, and number 4, Georgia. Of course, you got Alabama taking on USC. So that's going to be a really nice first weekend for the Deep South as we start to shape up how this college football season is going to turn out. Subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment. I love the comments. As a matter of fact, this video actually is kind of sort of based on some comments that I read. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. So Auburn, via the transfer portal, picks up Demetris Robertson from the University of Georgia. Now, if we follow the trail of Demetris Robertson, he was actually a very highly touted 5-star recruit from Savannah, Georgia. Everybody wanted him. He wound up going to Cal, had a good season out there. Injuries kind of derailed him. He started to kind of be more of a role player at Georgia. And with the extra year of eligibility, Brian Harsin comes to town. Kind of needs an experienced wide receiver. And guess who's entered the portal? Demetris Robertson. But I'm going to talk about some reasons why Auburn kind of needs this to work out in a very mildly epic fashion for Demetris Robertson. 5-star wide receiver. Auburn hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiver in quite some time. I think the last one was Ronnie Daniels. The last one that came close was Darvin Adams. So it is time for Auburn to have an explosive receiver, 5-star receiver, so that Auburn can bring these kind of guys to the plains. Because truth be told, if you're going to win in the SEC, it used to be you still do have to have good offensive line, good defensive line, have good running backs. But now you have to have a dynamic wide receiver. And Demetris Robertson, let's just assume he's healthy. Hopefully, he's healthy. Has the opportunity to be a feature receiver. I think he and Travaris Johnson is probably going to battle for that slot position, but they can move Demetris Robertson around. I really think this needs to work out big for future recruiting efforts at the wide receiver position for Auburn, because if you don't have dynamic receivers in this era of college football, you probably, you can be like Texas A&M and do your 10-2 and go to a New Year's Six Bowl. But if you're really going to push the envelope to the college football playoff, you got to have some dynamic receivers coming year in and year out. So that's why this absolutely has to work out. Another thing that's going to have to really work in this favor is Auburn getting the quarterback position right. Do I think Bo Nix is the guy? Yeah, I think he is. I'm a harsh critic of Bo Nix, a lovingly harsh critic of Bo Nix. I like him. I really like him. And probably most of my criticism comes from the fact that I want him to be successful so bad because I see the upside of Bo Nix. I see his ability to get out of pressure situations. I see his ability to make plays, but I also see some errant play in a lot of regards, maybe because of the offensive line, maybe because of schematics. But I think Bo Nix right now is your guy that has the job to lose, obviously. Yeah, TJ Finley will come in and make some, push for the starting position for sure. And I think with the quarterbacks behind him, Demetris Davis, I think is going to be pretty good. Will push the envelope as far as that. I think the real competition long term is going to be TJ Finley and Demetris Davis. I think Bo Nix, with his experience, and if he actually tunes in and hones in into what the development process will be with Brian Harsin and Mike Bobo, I think he'll be all right. Do I think TJ Finley has a chance to win the job? I hope not. I really hope Bo Nix is the guy that can lead Auburn, especially based on he's been in some brutal situations. Having to go down to Florida with one of the best defensive lines in the SEC at the time, actually beating Alabama, actually having a chance to have a comeback from behind win against Georgia. I think Bo Nix is the guy that you need to have, especially with the experience against just if you just talk about his top 25 experience alone, he's the guy you need to be in position to start with this schedule because he's got another brutal one, not on the top end, but on the back end, definitely a brutal schedule. Got the Penn State game you got on the road. Penn State is going to come out with all the bells and whistles, the whiteout, and all that other stuff. You need an experienced guy. You need a guy that's been under pressure to be able to be in that situation. And I think if Brian Harsin presents himself the way he does, I think he gives that confident level of development opportunity for Bo Nix to be able to succeed in that type of environment. But Demetris Robertson, it is time for Auburn to have a dynamic receiver. And I think Brian Harsin has really cashed in on the transfer portal to be able to make this happen. But they got to make the best of it. Demetris Davis, I'm going to just say boldly, needs to be, if you're going to pull a card like this, one of the best wide receivers coming out of high school and still has that ability, you're going to have a dynamic season out of him, especially for Brian Harsin to be successful year one. Let me know what you think about this video. Go ahead and like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, become a member of the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.